Good evening, good evening, good evening, everybody. Hold on, let me get my things together. Welcome to another inspiring episode of the Black Barter podcast. I am Lineka Michelle, your host for today, and I am so thrilled to have you join us. But first, let me get some things together, right? Let me give you a quick rundown of what Barter Black is, okay? Barter Black is not just a podcast. It's a vibrant community dedicated to empower other Black entrepreneurs. Whoop whoop! I love that. And creators. We believe in sharing stories, insights, and expertise. Hold on, y'all. To uplift each other in the world of the Black enterprise. If you have a story or a perspective to share or a value insight into the world of business, we invite you to host an episode right here on the Barter Black podcast. The link is in the show notes. It's your platform to shine, inspire, and educate others. Okay? So, before we dive into today's conversation, I'd like to invite you to subscribe. Go ahead and do it now. Go ahead and hit that like button, okay? And if you're excited as I'm about to share some incredible insight about empowering your brand, okay? Your image. All right. So please take a moment and to like and subscribe and share this episode to your audience, anybody that you know that's going to benefit from this amazing information that we're about to dive into. Okay? And let me not be rude, right? And turn my phone off while we are live. All right. So, empower your image. Okay? Hold on, I'm still trying to get used to this. All right, so for those who may not know who I am Lineka Michelle. I am a branding and portrait photographer. I've been doing this and a certified life coach. Let me back up, right? So I am a branding and portrait photographer and a certified life and business coach. I've been in business over 20 years as an entrepreneur. Woo! Right? And I love what I do. Okay. I inspire and I empower 5+ figure bosses to elevate their brand, right? Not just in just your logos and your graphics and all that good stuff, but my specialty is in your brand images. It's important to show your unique self in the business, in your business, in your visuals. Okay. So let's get started. All right. Brand photography. I know that a lot of us tend to say we don't want to do it. We want to do selfies. I like to do it. Sometimes it costs too much. Sometimes whatever, right? But we know at the end of the day that as much of we spend as the world spends online, it is important to have a strong and a real presence online. Okay. And so, with that being said, your audience is going to connect with your brand, right? And if I can help you with your visuals, connecting your audience to your visuals, to your brand, that is what we're here to do. I want to make sure that it's an easy and effective way to connect and to build credibility and to show your beautiful face or your handsome face to the world through professional and unique images. After all, people buy from people, right? Right. And so when we think about that, right, we think about the investment part. Sometimes it can be a little pricey. Sometimes it doesn't have to be that much pricey. and things like that. So investing in brand photography provides such a great value for your business as you share your story and highlight your business, what makes your products and your services unique in a fun, engaging way. Okay. And we get to have fun on photo shoots. I don't want it to be so scary, right? And so we get to pull out the fun part, the engaging part of your brand photo. So that is why it's important to have the empowering images that showcase who you are, because we don't know who you are. And you know what the saying is, right? The saying is, a photo is worth 1,000 words. Ooh, right? And so it is my purpose, okay, as a brand photographer, to create images for you and your brand that gives you confidence and the freedom to show up online. 9 times out of 10, for years, I've been in business for a long time, and this is just a side note of my story. I stayed behind my logo for years. For years, I stayed behind my logo. And then I finally said, let me get from behind my logo and show my face. And believe it or not, once I started showing who I was behind the lens, more people started booking me. Once I started showing who I am, who loves to laugh, who likes to have fun and all that stuff, and it showed in my images, guess what? More people started buying from me. So the saying is true. People buy from you. Okay? I want to sound like I'm a school teacher. So I'm just going to give you a few little tips to help you show up for your branding session. Just a couple of little things for you to make sure that you keep in mind. Also, maybe at the end I'll be able to share this ebook that I created with these tips, so that way if you have any other questions or you just want to read over it, we'll be able to give that to you. Okay. So listen, my number one tip when it comes to finding or getting ready for your branding photography is research your photographer. Okay. It's very important because we love what we love, right? We love the light and airy, or we might like the dark and gloomy pictures, or we might like a certain look, right? And so you might have this photographer that you might like, but what if they don't shoot branding photography? You need to be aware of what your photographer can do. Okay, so research your photographer. Okay. Try not to choose a photographer just based on price. Please. I've heard it many times, plenty of times. A lot of people get disappointed because the photographer might have paid, let's say $2,500 for some branding images, and they didn't get nearly anything good out of those images. So don't base your photographer on, and that's the high price, what I just quoted. Don't even base your photographer on the price, and their price is something like what's the lowest? 250. You get what you pay for. I've learned that in this business. You do get what you paid for. And so be mindful when you're looking for your photographer. Don't look for just the price. Please be considerate and think about, and more important, find a photographer that you like their images. Don't book a photographer if you're on their website and you're like, you know what I'm saying? Make sure that you find that your photographer that you're looking for, that you think that you can really mesh well with. You know why? Because the day of your photo session, and I can't even say the day because I can only talk about me, I spend time with my clients. So it's a process with me. I'm not just getting to know who you are based off of your social media. I'm calling you, I'm texting you to see how you're doing. And just to dig deep and see who you are besides the questionnaires that I send, right? So you want to make sure that the photographer that you have can capture the images and the sense that you might like, because at the end of the day, it's your money, right? It's what you're going to pay for. All right. So that's my number one tip, right? Find a good photographer that you could work with. Try not to choose a photographer based on the price. Try not to choose a photographer and you see that they might shoot dark and gloomy, and so but you want the light and airy. No, find somebody that can work all in what you're looking for. Okay, I hope that helps so far. That's the number one tip. And here's a quote I have on here. It says, I don't trust words, I trust pictures. Okay, I don't trust words, I trust pictures. It's a very, very good statement to think about. Okay, moving right along. And I'm not going to keep y'all long because I don't believe in keeping long. But if you have any questions at the end, we'll talk about questions and all that good stuff, right? To create a powerful brand, you must be able to communicate your message clearly and on consistency. Some questions to help you get focused on your messages are: who are you? What is your vision? What do you want people to know about you? And what images will you need to share your messages with, right? So when you're booking your branding photographer, right, it's necessary that you gotta know your brand. Because guess what? Your photographer is not gonna know your brand. We're just gonna go by off of hearsay, and you don't want to go by off of hearsay. You want to make sure that you know who you are. You want to make sure that you know your vision, and you already know what you want, how you want people to know who you are, right? How you want people to see you in the images. So if you can convey that to your branding photographer, then you have a good, perfect match. Okay. So think about those questions. What images will you need to share your messages? Like you see the photo here, is on the top is clear as day. That's actually in the location where she it's a warehouse. So it's a warehouse in Atlanta, and that is actually on the wall, and that resonated with her because every time somebody meets her and say anything about her, they always say that she's so bold about things. And they said, when she got ready to step into the world of entrepreneurship, they said, go boldly. And what perfect way to showcase her going boldly into the new entrepreneur world, because she's used to juggling the both worlds, right? These are great questions. Make sure that if you have some notebook and paper, make sure you write those questions down. But those are great questions to walk through to make sure that you get clear on what your images you want for your business. I see a lot of the standard, the ones sitting at the laptop. I see the ones sitting on the phone. What's another standard? Oh, the power pose with your arms crossed, right? Anybody else got those kind of pictures, or the one with your finger? And so I captured the normal traditional branding images, but you want to step outside of the box. You know what I'm saying? And so if you can tell me, and if you can answer those questions, that's going to get my wheels going as a photographer and a visionary, to step outside of the box when it comes to your branding images, right? We also create mood boards. Mood boards are a great way to come up with ideas. So Pinterest, everybody loves a good Pinterest board, right? Who doesn't love a good Pinterest board? Make sure that if you have one, share it with your photographer so your photographer can know. I already create one just for my client once I know that we're getting ready to do your branding session. So I already create your mood board once I get a feel of who you are after you answer your questions off the questionnaire. Okay. That also, because that helps us as photographers to, make sure that we showcase who you are. I did see a question, but I don't know how to see it on my end. Yeah. Okay. It's essential to work with your photographer to create an ideal shoot list. Because I've been doing branding photography for maybe about, I'm gonna say, a solid 5 years, I've kind of created an ideal shoot list, and we'll go through it. And if you have other ideas, of course, we're gonna go and make sure that we create those images. But those images are definitely, we're gonna sit down. You know why? Because I don't want you to have extra images where you're not able to use them. See, with me, we're going to go through your website and see what kind of header you're looking at, wanting to use, what kind of about me picture you want to have up there. So before your branding session, we're going to sit down and we're going to go through the shot list and all that. And this also helps me because when we're talking and we're communicating to each other and we're figuring out who each other is, right? This helps me the day of your photo session to make sure that you are going to show up confidently in those images, right? So make sure that we create a shot list. That way we're both clear. You and me are clear on what we're working towards before we begin shooting. Excuse me. Y'all excuse me because I do have a little bit of asthma here. All right, so on this next slide, I just kind of have some photos. I kind of want to tell a story with some of the ladies that I have on the photos. After working with me, some of them probably started out as I don't even know if that's really a term, a 4-figure boss, and now they're to 5 figures. Some of these are 5 figures that headed up to 6 figures because they changed their imagery. Your visual says so much about who you are, that it's very important at the end of the day, because we like videos and we like photos. Who doesn't like a great photo of and that can capture the essence of who you are? So we got a group of realtors here, who are almost like top here in Georgia. We have Kenesha here. And just to show that, like, each one of these, I believe, are coaches, but we have an interior designer here with the PCI. We got the doctor. We have a caterer, and then we have a coach. So we all, in all your images, like I said, the whole key is to make sure that you're confident, right? And sometimes we get a little nervous behind the camera, and I get it, right? Because for some reason, I don't know why this always happens, and I don't know if this happens to anybody else. When I get ready to do a photo session, I'll catch a pimple here and a pimple here all out of the blue, or I feel like I'm extra bloated and all that other stuff. And then next thing you know, you just want to say, you know what, forget all of this. Nope, you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you have a photographer that understands us as women, right? And I'm sure I probably have some men on there, but I'm working on the men's side. Don't worry. But we as women will be like, I don't feel like it today. Then I got the kids over here doing this and that. But believe it or not, when you show up, we'll take a couple of deep breaths. We'll listen to some music. That's why I asked you to create your playlist. And then I try to get you out of your head, even the whole week before the photo session. I'm trying to get you out of your head because we'll do it. We'll be like, nope, I ain't gonna do it today. I asked her if we could reschedule. Nope, I feel a little bloated today. I asked if we could reschedule. Girl, do you see all these pimples on my face? The makeup is not gonna hide all of this. We'll come up with 15 million 11 excuses, and we don't need to do that. I'm going to make sure that I empower you to show up because your brand needs it at the end of the day. Okay. I like to use props in my images. And so I want to show you why it's important, because if you use props, your cell phones, your laptops, all that good stuff, it's important, right? Now that we have worked on your message, those 4 questions that I asked earlier, I want you to feel comfortable with what you want for your brand and how you want your brand to look. Okay. Using your favorite props, right? Because let's say, oh, this is even a prop, right? My sweater is a prop because this is my brand color. It's not my favorite, but this is one of the props. So if you have something that you always use in your brand, I want you to bring that, because there's a story behind it. You know why? Because when you look at whatever it is, you start thinking about, why do I like this? And so I capture the essence of who you are. So props can help tell a story of who you are and what you do. All right. Like a health coach is an example. Okay. If I have a health coach, I would do something that has something with some fresh food. Um, yeah, some fresh food, perfectly, so that way it's in a plate or whatever, plated. Or even if she's doing something where she's showing us different recipes and stuff and such, that would be a time for us to snap all those type of pictures to show us the diversity in her images, right? Not just her just standing by a plate and showcasing the plate type of thing. We're just going to kind of get her working in her element. That's the key to having props also, in your brand. Like, sorry, I'm trying to read something. Maybe you are, even if you, okay, so if your brand, if you're selling products, right, I want you to include your products in your brands. We tend to not include that, so then sometimes we kind of guess what you're trying to do, but we need to know what you do, right? And so if you have products, it's best that you include those into your photo shoot. You might want to show some of the tools and trade and demonstrate, right, how your products work. And those are good, those are great branding images that helps bring out the confidence. Because when you're in your groove, you're working, right? And so you're showing me what it is that you're doing, and I'm just snapping away. It shows the essence of who you are. It shows the confidence of who you are in your business. And so if that gets to show right, when we post those pictures on Facebook, Instagram, social media, and all that other stuff, you know what? People are going to be like, oh, I didn't even think that she did that, right? And so that's what we want. We want to pull the emotions from the people with the images. So every person and every business is totally unique, right? And so we can discuss, make sure you can discuss with your photographer to work out what is best for you, right? Props are also I'm sorry, hold on. Props also allow you to create great variety of images which give you more for the bang for your buck and tell your story in a unique way. All right? Any questions? I don't know if I have any questions, any suggestions, anything you guys want to talk about. I'm gonna put a pause on purpose because we're almost done. Next slide. All right. So another thing to think about when you're doing your branding sessions that also helps show up in your confidence is location. Believe it or not. If your location is off, guess what? You're off. And if you're off, then it's going to show in your pictures because you're going to be like, I don't know about this place, right? Am I right? And so location shows up. I mean, location is very important for your branding images, right? So choose a location that best reflects your business. I always try to say, if you have a home office, some of us have home offices that we kind of work in. We work our business in. That might be a perfect spot. If not, have a studio space that could work. I've used hotels. Their lobbies are gorgeous for branding shoots. I've used libraries. I've used museums, gyms for the health people. So whatever your brand is, if you're sitting down, make sure that you and your photographer, y'all discuss that, because at the end of the day, we're trying to make sure that we show your authentic self in action. right? And it's powerful. It's the most powerful thing if we can show who you are in your images. Showcasing real moments, genuine expressions is just a glimpse of your brand. Even if you work with other people, sometimes it might be best to have the other people in your brand to show up for your branding session as well. If you're a life coach, sometimes the candid um, moments that you have with your what do you guys call us? The moments that you have with your coaching in your coaching sessions. If you're doing a group coaching, it'd be kind of cool to have a group of ladies, a group of people, whoever you're coaching, have some of you coaching them, to have that real time image on your websites or in your on your graphics. Okay, it just says authentic all day if we can showcase the real moments, the genuine expressions, the unscript. Okay, that's key. If we can capture all of that in your images, that's the powerful thing. All right, moving right along. Another thing that I always say that's going to help you empower your image when it comes to branding photography is a positive mindset is key. It is very key. You realize that good looking content is important part of your marketing for your business, and you are ready to take it to another level, right? Mindset can play a big role on the outcome of your photo shoot. It's so important to bring a positive one. Like I said, working with me, we work for at least maybe 2 weeks exactly, right, before your photo session. And I'm trying to get other people to hop onto this too, because it helps. Because even with me, when I had my photo session, I wish I had a me. My photographer didn't know how to get me out of my head, right? And so had I had a me for me, I think I would have showed up more for my images the way I needed, the way I should have, right? And I'm saying that to say my mindset wasn't in the right place that whole week before me going into a photo session. So when you work with Michelle Lineka or Lineka Michelle, I help you with your mindset. I'm going to send affirmations. I'm going to help you stay out of your mind, girl. Stay out of your head. It's going to be all right, and stuff like that. Because honestly, when you pop up in the photo session, if you're irritated, it's going to show. Regardless of how much me and you gonna laugh, I can see it because I read images. It's gonna show, right? And so if we can work on your mindset, because it's the biggest thing, um, your outcome of your photo shoot is going to work. And here's why I say I should have had the image. There's a young lady I had who her face was like this on her first photo shoot, and this is not with me. And so when she booked with me, I was expecting that same face, but then she totally came out of the box. It was like that's not who I was. I was just irritated with the photographer. I could tell, you know what I'm saying? Because your face was like, ugh, like you want me to do what in that picture? So having a great mindset, having a positive photographer that can just encourage you to keep doing and help you with the limits and beliefs can, and we if I can help you kick the limiting belief and get your mindset together, we're gonna be smooth sailing at your photo session, right? So because at your photo session is awkward, we kind of awkward, especially some of us who deal with the double chins and the arms and the stomachs. We kind of feel like, oh, make sure that I hide all of that. So if you are going to be uncomfortable, that's why I kind of work with you for that whole week beforehand to make sure that you're comfortable in your skin. So when you show up, we're gonna have fun, we're gonna laugh, and you ain't even gonna think about your double chin, you ain't gonna think about your arms, you ain't gonna think about none of that, because I'm gonna pose you in a way that none of that is going to be like, oh God, girl, why did you do that? Yeah. Okay. make the most of the opportunity to present the best version of yourself. If you don't want to do it yourself, book a makeup artist, which when you book with me, I already have one for you. If you're due for a haircut, if you're due for a manicure, I always remind everybody, we go through this list. It was time for me to do a haircut, and I waited too late to do a haircut, but I still had to show up for my images, right? I didn't get my nails done, but had to go get the press-ons. Do whatever you need to do to make sure that you're going to show up the best version for yourself. Make sure that these things are booked plenty of time beforehand, and it'll cut out all the stress. If you're like me with like I'm a mother of 3, and no, they have me all over the place sometimes, or I'm all over the place because I'm doing other A, B, and C and D. So with me, you will want to make sure that everything is all laid out, and I'm gonna send a reminder text, right? So positive mindset is key into make sure that you show up confidently in your images. You show up who you are in your images. Okay. This is just a couple of more images that I have here. Nothing big, nothing big. All right. Just show who you are. I mean, I don't know how else to say that. But just show who you are. And like I said, I wasn't going to keep you long, so we're almost done. How about that? To create a powerful brand, you must be able to communicate your message clearly, right? Got to. And so here is the list that I've created that to make sure that you are going to be ready for your next branding session. Is to make sure you research your photographers, y'all. Don't hire somebody because of the price. Don't do it. Hire somebody that you know that they're going to be able to showcase who you are in the lens, right? Another thing I want you to work on is get focused. If you know your message, a lot of us don't tend, and sometimes your message might change. You know what I'm saying? And it's okay. But as long as you know your message and you can convey that to your photographer, make sure you know your message, right? Are you serious? Are you a serious and professional and or fun or relaxed? You know, it's all kind of questions that you want to, ask your photographer as well. What do you do in your business, and what do you want to be photographed? Is your shot list ready? Okay, those are just different things that you should be able to work on for you to get focused for your branding session. Props and products, please have those if you have them. What do you want to use in your business? What do you use in your business that could tell the story? Okay, in your images. And then another thing is location. I'm big on location. Your location says a lot about your brand. Okay, because sometimes if you are a fitness person, do you want to be in a studio or do you want to be in a gym? Just you got to make it make sense, right? And then wardrobe. I didn't touch on that a little bit, but I can now. Wardrobe is also important. No, I'm not a photographer that actually has a wardrobe, but I do have a stylist that can actually come and help you style for your photo sessions. Because if you're anything like me, I wear jeans and t-shirts all day if I wanted to, but I know that that's not how I need to show up. So I hire somebody to style me, and we have that on our team. So make sure that you stay true to who you are in your images. If you don't wear skirts, don't come in there with a skirt. If you don't wear suits, I say always try it once, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to the suits. But wear a suit if you want to, but make sure that it's your true self at the end of the day when it comes to your wardrobe. And then your mindset. At the end of the day, I want you to make sure that you have fun with it, right? Think about these photos will be able to create businesses of your dreams. Photos are very important when it comes to your website. I know that a lot of them aren't looking, a lot of businesses or, like, let's say grants and all that other stuff. If you have a good professional headshot, it helps you at the end of the day. But your photos should be able to showcase to us what your brand is, with little to nothing of the words, right? And I want to take a moment to pause real quick and see if we had any questions on here. Do we have any questions? I can't really see it. I saw, okay, did you do Pinterest? Yes, I do Pinterest boards. It's best. It's best. How do I see this? I see the question, but I can't see the question, if that makes sense. Like there's something blocking it, and I don't know if it's me on my end or not. How do you book? I can't see the rest of it. I'm sorry. I see Amanda. I'm so sorry. I can't see the rest of what your question is. How? There we go. I see it now over here. It says, how do you book hotel lobbies? Listen, when it comes to locations, have your photographer book your locations, because sometimes, like how I'm familiar with a lot of people in my area, the manager might know who the photographer is. So it would be best if you want to do a hotel lobby or something like that to have your photographer book with them, because the photographer probably already photographed in there before, and so they've already been building a relationship with them. I hope that answers your question, Amanda. Thank you for asking. All right, so that is all I really have for y'all today. I just wanted to make sure that you understand that branding images are very important, but it's also important that you have the confidence to actually show up in your branding images, because they matter. It matters. It matters how you show up, and your confidence shows up all day. Your confidence shows up. If you're upset, shows up. Your laughter shows up. All your moods show up in your images. So you want to make sure that you hire a photographer that can capture who you are once spending some time with you. Okay. Let me make sure I move some screens around, because this is new for me. Sorry, y'all. And I want to make sure I don't have any more questions. And for those who are wanting to book, if you want to book with me, I do have a website. My website is www.michellelineka.com. We can also put that in the comments. But you are more than welcome to even ask any kind of questions to help you further along with another photographer in your area. I have a slew full of friends in different areas that are photographers as well. We can definitely connect you. But with that being said, thank you for being here on this episode of the Barter Black podcast. I hope you found this information helpful, inspiring. If you are interested in learning more about Barter Black, you can go to www.barterblack.io and see all of the great things they are doing to empower Black entrepreneurs. If you have not already subscribed to their YouTube channel, make sure that you subscribe right now. Just stop for a second and hit that subscribe button, and make sure that you continue to So you won't miss out on any of the episodes, okay? That way you won't miss out on any of the episodes that's getting ready to happen, that's filled with wisdom, that's filled with inspiration. Thank you for joining us. And remember, your voice matters, your story inspires, and your success paves the way for future generations of Black entrepreneurs. Until next time, stay inspired and keep shining. Have a blessed day.